This is Wild Country 99 with Chris and Chelsea. So it's now time for another edition of Dear Chris and Chelsea, where somebody slides into our DMs and asks us a question. They're usually looking for help or for someone to maybe settle a debate, whether it be about relationships or kids or
Right.
work, or it could be anything.
And we just like to weigh in because we're not exactly experts, but we have a lot of life experience.
Maybe we haven't gone through something like this, but maybe you listening, maybe
Yeah.
you have. So this one has to deal with pets.
Okay.
And this is going to be a tough one for a lot of people because we're talking cats and dogs here.
Literal cats and dogs. All right. Okay.
It goes like this. Dear Chris and Chelsea, we need your help before our house turns into a full-blown battlefield. 4 months ago, what we did was what we thought was a beautiful thing. We adopted not one, but 2 rescue animals.
Oh, I love that.
We got a sweet but clueless golden retriever named Brutus and a cunning take-no-prisoners tabby cat named Winnie.
Okay, I like this mix already.
The problem? They despise each other.
Of course they do.
Fur flies, literally, on a daily basis.
Oh,
Winnie swipes at Brutus every chance she gets, and Brew chases her like she's moving a chew toy.
okay.
We've had broken picture frames, shredded curtains, and more late night barking than we ever imagined. The house is truly chaotic right now because of these 2.
Yikes.
Unfortunately, we've made the decision to get rid of one of the pets. I know it's tough. This is tough. The kids are split. One is Team Brutus, while the other is Team Winnie. My husband and I are just as torn. We can't keep living like this, but how do we decide who stays and who goes?
Oh, man.
Is there a fair way to pick? Do we flip a coin? Draw straws? We feel guilty even thinking about returning one, but we have to do something. We can't live like this. How do we make this impossible decision?
Oh, man. So I've owned both. I've rescued both. I've rescued cats. I've rescued dogs. I've had cats and dogs cohabitate together. Is that a word? And you got to go slow.
Can you train them to get along?
Yes, absolutely.
But they're fighting like cats and dogs.
Well, there you go. But you need to create, each one has to have its own safe space. So my cat, I had a cat and a pit bull at one time. And the cat was the bigger terror than the pit bull. And so I had to give them each their own bed, their own space. Cats need to find a place that's kind of higher up so that they can feel safe. They're not going to be bothered. That should take care of most of the fighting, I would think. And then with the dogs, I think it's a matter of introducing them and talking to one another. You would think with both of them being adopted, that means they're coming to the home at the same time. So that should be less of a threat because it's open territory for all of them.
This is the exact reason why they ask you when you adopt a pet, right?
Right.
Have they been around other animals or kids?
That's a good point. And I think they should double check that and talk with the shelter that they came from. I would hate for them to get brought back.
Now, most people are going to say, well, they're not going to bring both back. It's one or the other.
I know.
Which is like choosing your favorite kid.
But if the kid's
right?
already getting attached, I would try several things first before I give them back. Because that could do a lot of damage to the animal too.
Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you keep the dog because dogs are above cats. To
And low maintenance.
some people they are, other people are not.
Right.
It's like, how do you choose on this? Either you're a cat or a dog person. I don't think flipping a coin is the right thing to do.
I don't think so either. I would try several things. I would try giving them their own space. And especially if the kids are getting really attached to one or the other, you can't split them up.
Maybe the kids are the instigators. Maybe they're egging them on.
Really?
Are your kids little terrorists?
But if they're fighting all the time, oh man, that's tough. You don't want them to get hurt either, especially with the fur flying.
Yeah.
Oh, this makes me so sad because
Yeah.
adopting animals can be such a beautiful thing. You're giving them a second chance.
If it were me, I would say keep the dog just because of the name in general. You have a dog named Brew.
Brutus.
How cool is that?
Brutus.
Brew.
Baby Brutus is getting too much in the cat's business because golden retrievers, they're sweet.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't know boundaries at all.
So this is a tough one. We'll take some of your calls, some of your texts, and we'll get down to the bottom of this and see what the majority say.
Yeah.
And maybe this will help Valerie out. So Valerie, if you're listening right now, we're gonna do our best to help you out. You got our take on this. Now we'll leave it up to everybody else. It's Dear Chris and Chelsea on Wild Country 99.